Over the past 5 years, I've made a few Spider-Man art. From cardboard, foam, even Rubik's Cubes. But somehow, I never made the one thing that truly defines Spider-Man. The mask. Until now.
Oh yeah!
After watching every Spider-Man film, finally I found the one mask that I wanted to wear. Meet Spider-Gwen from Earth 65. Like every Spider-Man in the multiverse, Spider-Gwen is brilliant. What stood out to me most, however, was her costume. It's clean, minimal, and that hit of pink just matches her boldness. Right then, I knew if I'm making my first ever Spider-Man mask, it has to be hers. Alright, let's get to work. We have 5 steps to accomplish this mask. To start, I need a template for the facial. So, I print the files, cut the pieces, transfer them onto cardboard, and cut everything all over again. But in this part, patience is everything. Cut with precision and you won't run into problems later. Okay, step number 2. Now it's time to bring everything together and turn these flat pieces into an actual helmet. To do this, I use masking tape and align every edge with its matching side. Like a puzzle, everything starts to fall into place. This free template I'm using is from Craft Try's own Spider-Man mask tutorial. The link's in the description, but hold on for now because I'm about to show you guys an even easier way to make your Spider-Man mask using simpler materials. Once everything is aligned, I apply super glue along each edge, permanently securing the structure. Now to stop the helmet from wobbling, I reinforce it with popsicle sticks. Alright, looking good. Now we're ready for step number 3. Most recommend using epoxy to harden the helmet. Luckily, I already have epoxy at home. Or so I thought. Turns out there are different kinds of epoxy, and I have the wrong one. Now the nearest store that sells the epoxy I need, about 300 kilometers away from where I live. So that leaves me with option 3. Which may or may not work. Let's do it! First, I sand the entire helmet, then I grab all the super glue I can find, every tissue roll at home, and attempt an unconventional version of paper mache. I simply cut out the tissue paper into small pieces, place them onto the helmet layer by layer, and apply a lot of super glue. It dries way faster than traditional paper mache, but it's also pretty toxic. After it dries, we can now remove these popsicle sticks.
Alright, so I finally finished applying tissue paper and super glue all over this facial, both inside and out, and I absolutely love how sturdy it actually is, even without the epoxy resin. So my plan worked, and I'm wearing a mask right now because before I apply wood filler all over this thing, I'm going to sand it. So
it's a bit of an overkill, but it does remove sharp edges way faster than sanding by hand. Next, I apply wood filler across the entire surface.
Like I had some time, staying up in bed all night, so wrapped up in all the small things, living all the lessons learned, till the bridges just get burned.
Not gonna lie, this step was actually super relaxing. After sanding the surface, I trim the back section of the helmet like this. Alright, let's do a fit check.
I know she'll carry me all the way through.
And finally, to top it all off, I spray painted the entire helmet. I use Elastidip for the first layer, then top it with white spray paint. Paint's dry, now let's do another fit check.
You know what, guys? I think I'm gonna ditch this one because if I apply it, it's gonna make it too tight.
That wasn't part of the original plan, but I decided to remove the back piece entirely for a better fit.
Wow, this helmet is hot.
But hey, doesn't matter if it's hot as long as we look cool, right? So let's make it look way cooler, shall we? Time for the lenses. For this, I tweak the template design and accentuate the wings. Now these match Gwen's aura.
You know I keep it cool. I prefer to stay in the cut. Don't want no attention on me when I'm trying to shake the blues.
To shape them properly, I first tape one layer onto the mask, then secure it with super glue.
Girl, you're looking like $1,000,000. Something about the way you strut your stuff.
This allows the lenses to conform to the curvature of the helmet.
What I'm supposed to do.
After the glue dries, I gently remove the lenses from the mask. Then we use wood filler, sand it, and paint.
So you gotta keep your heart exposed, and you can be sure.
To achieve the glass look on the lenses, I used this plastic gallon I found a few weeks ago. My spidey senses told me I should pick it up, and I'm glad I did. I then cut the plastic and match the lens shape. Now, to conceal my eyes while still letting me see through the mask, I'll be using this mesh fabric, which, let's say, I found in my mom's closet. Shh, don't tell her. I cut them into pieces, layer it 3 times per lens, and sandwich the fabric and plastic into the frame. And just like that, the lenses are done. Only one step left. After printing the template for the fabric, I use my PC glass cover and set up these lights.
So this is the fabric that I'm gonna use, and it's also very stretchy, so.
I tape the template beneath and lay the fabric on top. This helps me trace the lines more accurately. And with that, I start cutting out the fabric.
That's the last piece. Now it's time for my most awaited part of this craft. Plug it in.
Alright, time to hit the pedals. At first, I had a hard time controlling the fabric, but with some bits of patience, I finally managed to stitch everything into place. After sewing, all that's left is to fit the mask over the face shell, cut out the eye holes, and glue the lenses into place.